Hey Busters, welcome back to another Digimon card game video. So today we'll be taking a look at the brand new Start Deck Green, Giga Green. So here's the front. Sorry guys, let me just get this focus a bit for you guys. So there's the front. So here, as you can see, the ace monster is going to be Heracles Kabutomon. So same as the first three start decks. Here it kind of gives you a breakdown of the deck. So here it says there are in the deck there are 54 cards with 2 memory memory gauge cards and 2 index cards. So the 54 is because you get 50 cards in the deck as well as 4 Digitama cards. So, and on the side here, you just have a breakdown of the checklist. So yeah, there you go. I'm not really going to go over it as we're actually going to open this up, but it does say here there are 16 different cards in here, or rather 16 different, I guess, unique cards in here. So I already took off the, what is it, the little plastic thing? I guess the, what is it, tape, as usually like it's really hard to open these up. So I just took that off, but that as is just to save a bit of time. So yep. So let's just put this back. Yeah, I do like the box design, how they kept with it. So there we go. So it's held together by this plastic. Ooh, already see the shiny here, but yep. There's a bit of plastic there, so it's a bit tight, but yeah, so yeah. What is it? The English version of the first 3, Gaia Red, Kokuto's Blue, and Heaven's Yellow came out already, so, and you know, in Japan here, the box is pretty much the size of the cards itself. And of course, the American version always kind of like buffs up the deck box size. And I think they also included like, what is it, a booster pack in it? I'm not sure if like the price is still 500 yen, but yeah, this is actually 500 yen. So plus tax at 10% here in Japan, it's going to be 550 yen. So 550, I guess, back home. So starting off, we got Mochimon. Mochimon here has the effect of, on your own turn, let's see, this Digimon, if this Digimon is level 6 or above, it gains 1000 DP, so pretty good, but honestly, not worth doing. I mean, it's not bad, but you have better options. Either Tentomon from set 1, which will give you 1000 whenever if you had a Digimon that evolved that turn. I think Tentomon didn't actually specifically say this Digimon, it just said if you evolved a Digimon, so. And what is it? Wormmon's, shoot, I forgot whatever Wormmon's baby form was. That one just gives you a flat 1000 if you attack an opponent's Digimon, so. Depending on which kind of deck you're building, focused on destroying the opponent's rested Digimon, or just straight up kind of like a rush, Mochimon's honestly not that good, but you do get 4 copies. Next up, we got Floramon, generic 214. Not bad. I mean, honestly, it's good for the current aggro green blue deck. So it's good as it's a 2 cost with a pretty good DP. Fun fact: I ran a green blue aggro deck this past weekend, and I got to 2nd place. Honestly, I would have gotten first, but I had 4 level 3s on the field, and I just chose the wrong combination to attack with, and they all lost to the security checks. Had I chosen the correct order, they all would have survived, actually, and then the opponent would have no choice, but he just didn't have enough Digimon to take me out. So honestly, I was super bummed out and frustrated that because of poor security choices, which one to attack, I lost out on that. So still, it's only the first week, so got 4 more weeks, or maybe a bit more depending if it rolls over to 2 months at a time. So, but yeah, Floramon here is pretty good for those running an aggro deck. The Evo cost, if you're running a generic green one, then I do not recommend running this, as you do not want to pay the 1 Evo cost. Just the 2 play cost, it's either just better just to run Kabutomon and Argomon. Next is Tentomon. Tentomon here is not bad. It's a 2000 DP with play cost of 3 and 0 cost to evolve, but it doesn't have any EOE here, but it does have the effect of, when played, you reveal the top card of your deck And if that card is a green Digimon, add it to your hand. If not, return it to the bottom of your deck. So this is actually pretty good. I mean, more often than not, you know, for green, sometimes you'll just have like extra. You just kind of want to swarm the field, or you're using what is it, Argomon level 5's EOE of playing it. So pretty good for adding cards to your hand. Not bad. I think I run 3 copies of this in my Bancho Stingmon deck. So use this a lot more than I thought it would. So you get 4 copies of these. This one, yes, this Palmon is pretty much the go-to card in this deck. So Palmon here's a great card. 2000 DP average for green, 3 play cost and 0 evo cost, generic stats. But the main thing is its EOE of when you attack, if this Digimon is attacking the opponent Digimon, during this turn it gains 2000 DP, which is huge. 2000, like pretty much. And you get 4 of these. I mean, honestly, greens, like, they try to balance it out. Green was speed, like, speed evolution, speed growth. You can swarm the field and get to level 6 really quickly, but their trade-off was low DP. And now they're just giving you tons of free DP here. I mean, set 3, Rapidmon, Gargomon, they had, like, you only gained it when the opponent was rested. I mean, granted, it's for security check, but honestly, you don't really need it with green also having Pierce, so great card. Definitely recommend running this in 4 copies in any green deck. With this plus Bancho Stingmon, it easily buffs Bancho Sting to like 1100. So you don't, even if the opponent doesn't have 12,000, Bancho Stingmon with this is enough to take care of anything. So that's great. Next is Kunamon. So it's a 4 play cost, 0 evo cost, 5000 DP, so it's alright. I mean, don't really recommend running vanilla Digimon, especially when it's 4 cost. Yes, it's got a 5000 DP, but currently, the current meta, from what I've seen, no one's splashing in Volcanic Dramon anymore, so the exceeding 4000 DP is no longer that vital. So, 4 copies of Kunamon. Next is Togemont, which is also really good. Same as Palmon, same thing. Cost 2 to evolve, which is a bit, it's on average slightly higher than some of the more popular level 4s running green decks, but still 4000 DPs. Doesn't really matter because you really just want this, which is the exact same of when you attack an opponent's Digimon, you gain 2000 DP on that turn, so really good. And this deck comes with 4. So moving on, we got a vanilla Kuwagamon, 6000 DP, 5 costs 2 to play evolve. It's okay. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't recommend running this unless you're just a fan of Kuwagamon. I mean, maybe soon, someday, they'll have one where, you know, vanilla Digimon gets like extra DP. I'm sure that day will come, but for now, just not worth running. I mean, for 6000 DP, you might as well just run. There's tons of other options, really. Honestly, with this cost, I mean, the play cost, you might as well run Woodmon. Game blocker, same DP, same evil cost. I think its play cost might have been 6, might have been 5. Sure, you can't attack without losing memory, but still. And 4 copies of that. And this one is also very important. Actually, it's really important for green. Kabutomon. It's a 5000 DP for a play cost of 6 and evil cost of 1, but it is green's 3rd blocker. And it's also its 2nd blocker in the level 4 range, which is really good. I mean, 1 cost to evolve is huge for green because they want to quickly speed up their evo cost at 1 is amazing. And you gain blockers, so really good. So you use it to like speed up your growth to level 6. If you already had a level 6, you might as well just plop this down, attack with a level 6, and they're pretty much safe for a turn because Kabutomon will take the hit for you. And of course, since it's so good, you only get 2 copies of this in, what is it, Giga Green. Just like its pre-evolution, Kuwagamon. Okuamon is a generic vanilla of 7062, so it's not bad. I think, no, Monzaimon was a 5 cost, so I mean, 6 cost, yeah. I mean, sure, if you compare it, it's like the same cost as a level 4, so you can speed up to level 5, but honestly, with green, they don't really have any problems getting themselves up to 6, so can't really recommend this, running this in any deck. So this is kind of just like a filler for this deck. So you get 4 copies of this. Next is Lilymon. Lilymon here is actually really good. It's 7,000 DP with play cost of 6 and evo cost of 3, a bit high for most green decks to consider, but its evolution when evolved effect is really good. So here it says that when you evolve into Lilymon, you can actually open the first 5 cards of your deck and add any level 6 or higher Digimon revealed into your hand. Yes, just one of them. So if you reveal more than one, you can only choose one. Then you return the rest in any order you like under your deck. So this is actually really good as green, especially Charismon decks. Charismon decks, like, they need to get Charismon out to start just decimating the opponent's board by resting them. So Lilymon here is really good to help you search out that. I mean, at 5, it's pretty much fishing you 10% of your deck. And then, what is it? 5 cards are in your security, 5 in your hand. So honestly, more than 10%. You're already down, what is it, like 40 cards? So yeah, it's really good. Bit high cost, but I probably wouldn't recommend running 4 in a deck. I'd probably recommend like 2 or 3, unless like my Bancho Stingmon deck, where I'm relying less on effects and more of just trying to get Stingmon, Bancho Stingmon or out. So I'd recommend running about 2 to 4 copies at your discretion for what your deck is built around. And you get 4 copies of those. And here we finally get our rare. So you can kind of see it. Here's the gold. Atara Kabutomon. So here, I thought it was a really good card. And honestly, it is. But currently, I haven't found any decks that utilizes that well. Charismon decks, it's not bad too. But it's a 7,000 DP for a 7 play cost and a 3 evo. And here, it doesn't have an effect, but it has an EOE of, on your turn, once per turn. When this Digimon destroys the opponent Digimon in battle, you may discard the top. Is it you may? No, I guess this is mandatory, because they don't actually say it, so you discard the top security card of the opponent, which is really good. You know, I mean, it's a safety thing, so combine this with a good level 6, destroy the opponent, like Rusty Randomon, attack an active Digimon. No need piercing, you just whoop and gone. If they have pierced, that's 2, so really good. Originally, I thought like, oh man, you definitely need to run 4 of these. Currently, I don't have any decks that actually utilize it well enough, so I can't really say with certainty how well this is, but the effect is worth it. So I'd say like running like maybe just like 1, 2, maybe even 2 in your deck's not bad. Depends really, but if you're a Charismon deck, you might not have room for Atara. No, that's not true. Like, you definitely run Argomon level 5 for its Absorb Evolution. Probably Lilymon. So it really depends, but it is a really good card. So definitely worth making decks around almost. Especially with green, since slightly less DP, so you get only 2 of those, sadly. Rosemont. Or Rosemont is 11,000 DP, 10 play cost, and 3 to evolve. So here, she's got the ability of, when you evolve into her, let's see, until the end of your opponent's next turn, one opponent Digimon may not attack or block. So this is pretty much, you know, I mean, assuming you have the memory, or if you evolve into her and you don't exceed your memory, she's a guaranteed, like, kind of like a 1 check almost, although it is a great stall card, so. But unfortunately, honestly, compared to her, Saint Gargomon is way better in almost every way. Saint Gargomon has same DP, higher play cost, higher evo cost by 1, but he does have the effect of resting one opponent's Digimon and locking them there until the next turn, which is pretty much the same, except while she prevents them from attacking or blocking, regardless if they're active or not, Saint Gargomon will rest them. So, and he's got security attack +1, which is just honestly better. Granted, Saint Gargomon's effect, if they somehow manage to get that Digimon active, they can attack with it. But more often than not, unless they're running blue, it's not going to happen. So Rosemont is kind of like a budget version of Saint Gargomon. I guess, what is it? Saint Gargomon's Megalo Gargomon? Mega Gargomon? I can't remember what its Western name is, but, you know, Terriermon's final evolution. So you get 2 of these. Which is interesting now that I think about it. I thought for sure they'd include a, what is it, generic like all-star decks, they generally had like the 10 play cost, 2 evo cost, vanilla, 12,000 DP, so don't have that. And we have our Ace Digimon, Herakuru Kabuterimon, Hercules Kabuterimon. And I think compared to before, the foil on this is really, like, holographic. It's really shiny. But yeah, it's actually an amazing card. Tons of green decks just run this now, because it's just that good. It's a 12 clay cost. Yes, it costs 12,000 TP, which is great. But it comes with Pierce, and it's got a great main of Digiburst 2. Digiburst is the new, I guess, mechanic starting from this second wave of starter sets, which is pretty much discard any pre-evolutions under it. In this case, 2 cards, and then you can activate the following effect, which is, for Heracles Kabuterimon, rest 1 opponent Digimon, which is amazingly good. Like, you evolve into this, and if the opponent can't take it out, pretty much using its effect, you will destroy anything the opponent have, unless they're running black. Reason being, any DP buffs the opponent gets, they generally will lose it on their turn, on your turn, unless they're running black, which is pretty much, unless they're Omegamon, you will either straight up destroy them or take each other out. But honestly, with Evolution Origins, you're probably gonna survive, and you can rest them, destroy them, and you pierce through. So really good card. Actually, it's amazingly good. So this is really good. And of course, you only get 2 of the holographic cards. For the Tamers, so all starter decks, they all come with a 2-cost Tamer. So we got Izumi Koshiro, or I think Izzy something or other in the West. 2 costs, pretty good effect actually. Really synergizes well with this deck, which is that it has that it's on your own turn. When you rest an opponent's Digimon, or I guess when the opponent's Digimon is rested, maybe they have their own effect that somehow does that. If you rest this Tamer, gain 1 memory. So it's pretty good. I mean, yeah, it's really good. And you get 4 of these. So like with Heracles Kabuterimon, use its Digiburst effect, rest it, bam, you just get +1. You have 2 of these out, 2 memory, right? And it only costs 2 to play, so it's a really cheap card. So really good. In terms of whether or not worth running a deck, I'd say it's okay. Mimi or Ken. Ken is kind of a little bit better. I mean, when you rest the opponent Digimon, more often than not, you're going to destroy it. So Ken is a little bit better. Granted, Ken costs 4, but he does give you the base minimum 3 start, which is really needed. So you get 4 of that. I honestly, more than Heracles Kabuto, this card is the key card. Like, the reason people buy like multiple starter decks of this. So actually, we're not really this, but this is really good. So Chiku Chiku Bang Bang, or Needle Spray. It's a 2-cost option card that lets you rest 1 opponent's Digimon and has the security effect of activating the main of resting an opponent's Digimon and then adding this card to your hand. This is pretty much like the budget version of Flow Cannon or Flower Cannon. I mean, honestly, depending on which deck, this is actually better. I actually run 4 of these in my aggro deck. Instead of Flow Cannon, I should have run that. Right? Makes a difference. But the reason is because it adds this to your hand, which is actually really good. So when the opponent, if it checks, you flip it and bam, you rest 1 opponent Digimon, add it to your hand. If they have another blocker, bam, they rest it. Or if they don't, you keep this in your hand as a safety net card. So when they play something that you need to handle right away, you got something to do it. Flow Cannon is a one-off, but Flow Cannon rests everything except blockers. This one allows you to actually rest those pesky blockers that might have been in the way. So really good. And amazingly, they give you 4 copies. So, I mean, for people who don't even want any other cards, just getting the deck just for these 4 cards is worth it. Especially like when Flow Cannon's like $2 a pop, like 200 yen, 300 yen. So really good card, definitely worth running. I mean, if you'd ask me, which one should you run, Flow Cannon or this? It really depends. I'd say maybe a bit of both, like 2 of 2 or maybe 3 of 3. So it's just that good. So definitely really good. But it does depend on your deck. Like if maybe like aggro decks, the reason you would run this more than Flow Cannon in aggro decks is the reason is being your only thing that prevents you from winning is blockers. If the opponent doesn't have blockers, you will blitz right through them before they can do anything, unless they run Volcanic Drama, which no one really does. And this one will, one, allow you to rest it when it's checked for security, and then on top of that, add it to your hand for that extra blocker that they either bring out later or for the later turn. So next, unfortunately, another key card of this is Mega Blaster. So I think it was called Electro something in the West. Can't remember a couple of months back. Yeah, it's a 5-cost option with the ability of returning one resting opponent Digimon back to their hand. And then, of course, once it's in hand, discard all pre-evolutions. And it has a security effect of activating the cost. So this is like a budget version of Terra Cluster, the rare from set 2. The difference is Terra Cluster returns it back to the bottom of the deck, but costs 2 more. This is 2 cost memory cheaper to do, but it returns it to their hand. So it's a trade-off what you want. I mean, honestly, if I had to choose, I mean, Terra Cluster is good in that it returns it to the bottom of their deck, while this one is really good for returning stuff to their hand and forcing the opponent to restart whatever they need. The fact that it returns to their hand is a bit risky, like you give them back Omegamon or Charismon. Like, it's pretty much something that you need to take care of, but returning to their hand only stalls them, so... But still, if I had to say, I guess this one is slightly worth the risk of them bringing it back, just because it's -2, so when you do play it from your hand, that slight decrease in memory will make a difference. I mean, if you play 7, the opponent, if they're running green or something, they can instantly evolve back. At 7 cost, you can pretty much it's like a 2 free evolutions, right? Most people evolve cost 2 to 3, so 5, so... If I had to say, this will slightly edge out Terra Cluster in my opinion, so, and you only get 2 of these. And the remaining cards are our green version of the memory gauge, and on the back is, of course, just a quick guide of the stuff. And now they kind of changed it because of the brand new Bandai TCG Connect web app. Not really web, it's a website. It's kind of like the app. It's like what an app would do, except it's on the web. So it allows you to scan it and play online, which is really good. Fun fact, I entered the contest to beta test for the brand new Bandai TCG Connect lobby system, and actually only 200 people, and actually got in, so I will be joining that next week on October 13th, I think. It's a Sunday here in Japan, so yeah, really looking forward to that. Not sure if I'll be able to live stream it or anything. I'm not sure about the rules, but if I can, I'll definitely try. Any of you interested, please, you know, I guess I wouldn't really know how to let you guys know, but I guess just look it up. But definitely I'll try to record some stuff and post a video on that, so if you guys are interested. So you get that, and the other ones are just general, what is it, Digimon Togeteki, rules of, you know, when you play Digimon, attack, battle, check, like the phases of the main attack phase, and just a generally rules. So yeah, and that's generally it for the deck, guys. So yeah, sorry for taking a bit long, but there you have it. My impressions of the deck is, out of all the 6 decks, this one is by far, I think, the strongest deck. I mean, Gaia Red just was not bad, but honestly, because, you know, these this one and what is it, Mugen Black and Venom Purple, because these came out in set 3, so there's already been the slight power creep. But out of the 3, I definitely think Giga Green is the best one. So if you guys are wondering which one to pick up, I do think Giga Green is your strongest bet for if you didn't really care which one. But yeah. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and sorry for taking so long. And as always, if you have any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Anyways, this is Buster-kun here, off to find the stalker that goes to Babylon.